Hello and good evening. How are you? I want to deal today with a subject which all my subjects are always controversial, yet thought-provoking. I am your favorite host, Jijat, Journey into Justice and Truth. And this journey I want to take you into is no other than the double contradictions and forked tongues of Western leaders. I recently bought a book called The New World Order. It's quite a devastating read. I have not even read a quarter of it yet, but it's very devastating. And most of what my thoughts are in meditation, this book has somehow reiterated or confirmed. No doubt I'll be sharing this journey with you as I continue reading this provocative book. However, the shocking secret why Christians are allowed to be persecuted in the West, and yet they are not given refugee status in Europe. Only maniac Muslims. Think about that. Why are maniac Muslims who are misogynist, they are full of hate, they are terrorists, yet they're allowed into Europe? Think about that for a second. And yet Christians who are pacifist and abide by European standards and values, and even supposed to be Christian tradition, although it's now pagan Europe, why is it Christians are not allowed into Europe? Christian refugees. Something does not add up. The Western government and leaders are playing a game with you, because while they pretend they are fighting a war against terror or on terror, yet the same leaders have done nothing for Christians who are beheaded by Muslims, persecuted by Muslims, and yet the Western leaders are quiet about it. I put it to you that the likes of Arabia and countries that are producing oil are somehow blackmailing these Western leaders to not divulge information or to even take in Christian refugees. It does not make sense, any sense, that the barbaric and devastating tragedy that is happening to Christians just for believing in Jesus Christ, and they are facing having their heads sliced from there to there. Some of the images I could show you could be devastating and horrible, but even I can't even look at those images. Yet nothing is done in the Western world at all. It's interesting that you have Muslims who are killing Muslims, yet the whole Western world will bring over Muslim refugees for a crime that they are doing against themselves. They are only following their own holy book, where it tells you in Surah 2, Surah 3, Surah 5 and Surah 10, you must wage war against those who do not follow Muhammad precept by precept. You must wage a war against the infidels, the unbelievers. Do not take as friends those who are Jews or Christians. These are from the Surah 2, 3, 5, 9 and number 10. I've committed these verses to memory so that these crafty Muslims cannot claim, oh, where does he say that in the Quran? Where does it say that? They love to play that kind of game. They know it's there, but they're testing you to see if you have knowledge to quote back their book to them. I can also quote from the Bukhari's and the Hadiths. In order to deal with Muslims, you must know their source. You must know the platform that they're arguing from. Far too many people are trying to deal with Muslims, not realizing you are walking into a den of liars and thieves. And unless you know their philosophy, their theology, and their culture and history, they will eat you up. However, a lot of Western leaders are not as naive as they claim regarding Muslim history and what the Quran contains. They're not naive. The problem with with European leaders is that they are drunk. And I don't mean they are drunk on wine or whiskey. I myself, although I'm losing weight, I'm not partial for a bit of wine. I don't believe in getting drunk unless at Christmas. I don't mind getting drunk at Christmas, the season of festivity. I'm not partial for a bit of whiskey, though strong. But I always try to be in control of myself, unless of course it's Christmas. That's my excuse. But the West is not drunk on wine, good wine from the vine, beautiful harvest. No, they are drunk on Muslim oil. They love Muslim oil so much. Excuse the sun that is shining upon me. That is just God's blessing, because he's pleased that I'm dealing with this subject. But the West, they have a love affair with Muslim oil. And as a result, the West are deliberately turning their blind eye. They don't care about Christians who are being killed, put to the sword by Muslims. The same Western leaders will continue preaching to you that lie that Islam is a peaceful religion because they are blackmailed by Arabia and oil producing countries not to tell the truth. Although I have Republican conservative values, I refuse to vote. No politician can look you in the face and tell you that they don't do deals with terrorists. Because if they did not do deal with terrorists, Christian persecution, the numbers would have turned to zero. But they benefit from Muslim oil, and therefore they have a conflict of interest to turn their blind eye on Christians being persecuted by these Muslims fanatics. And the Western leaders don't care. We do not have good leaders. We have corrupt leaders. And in this series, I want to go into the subject on how the Western leaders are deliberately trying to promote a Muslim Islamic consciousness around the world, and how Islam and Catholics will become one world government, new world order. It's quite complicated to go into why they're trying to break down identities. You know, it's too complex to go into. But it's no accident that they are crushing the Christian faith, crushing Christian values, crushing patriotism, crushing individual thoughts, freedom of conscience. You can't criticize Islam. Why? There is an order to this. And I hope that you subscribe to this channel, because you don't want to miss out. It will become more controversial. especially when I expose the secret order of Mecca and how this information should have the drive and motive to drive out Muslims from Europe. If you look at it, the secret of Mecca, all that I will share with you, you don't want to miss out. The sun is coming too strong now, so I will leave you with this meditation. Why is it that Christians are not allowed as refugees? They can't see me now. Only mad Muslims. I better go now. Okay, bye.